Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And my name is Francis Ifeacho. And if this is the first time on my channel, I welcome you to my channel. Please hit the like button and also subscribe to stay updated on my video contents. And if you are a returning subscriber, I welcome you back to my channel. I am an INFJ life coach, a speaker, an author, and also a spiritual teacher. This channel will be dedicated to sharing my life experiences with you and also sharing some knowledge on some several spiritual topics. And without further ado, I'm going to go straight into today's topic being the afterlife. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of us have heard about the afterlife. And people have questions about what is the afterlife. There are probably even movies about the afterlife, which speaks about an existence of life after death. After death, and some people might have questions. Some people might just be coming across this word for the first time, and some people might just be curious to learn more. They might already know what it is, but they want to learn more about it. So I'll be sharing my knowledge on this topic, and hopefully, this video gets to inspire someone out there, or it helps to shed some light on the afterlife. So yes, there's an afterlife, and life does exist after death. So once the soul has lived its course, once the human body has lived its course, and it expires, if I may use that word, the soul leaves the body. The soul exits the body. The soul is a life-giving force of energy that sustains the body um, while it still needs the body. And once the body has run its course, or the soul has completed its lessons or its purpose for that lifetime, now it no longer has need for the body, and then it discards it. I don't want to say discards, but it lets go of the body, and then the soul returns back to the afterlife where it came from, because life on earth was only meant to be temporary, it wasn't meant to be permanent. And life on earth was not made to be perfect. Also, it was not also made to be easy. So it's a mix of both challenges and fun memories, because these challenges often offer an opportunity for growth for the soul. However, in the afterlife, there are different realms in the afterlife. Now, there's what we call in the Christian faith the heavens, the heavenly realm. This is where typically a lot of souls come from first to here on earth to experience life on earth. And the goal, the hope is that once the soul has completed its life lessons, it returns back to the afterlife. That's the hope. But in reality, certain things do happen while the soul is here on earth. Now, there are some souls who are earthbound. So these are souls that have passed away, human beings that have passed away, but their souls are still stuck here on the earth plane, which is not supposed to be so, because the soul is supposed to cross the tunnel and back into the light, and the light being the heavenly realms, which is called heaven or nirvana. It's given different names in different languages and different religions as well. So the soul is meant to cross over into the afterlife, but certain things can stop that soul from successfully crossing over into the afterlife. And this brings us to like certain souls that are earthbound. So these are souls that there are different reasons, and I'm going to share some reasons here. And this is not meant to be all conclusive. It's just some examples of reasons souls might choose to might be earthbound after they've passed on. Now, there are some people who pass away suddenly. They did not see their death coming, maybe in an accident, a sudden accident, or a sudden life event that causes them to die. And when that happens, they were not expecting that. And for some souls, they may not even have realized that they passed on, because the death happened so suddenly, and the soul was pushed out of the body so quickly that it didn't even realize at that moment that he had passed on. Now the soul, which is immortal, still lives and thinks that it's alive, and might be walking around wondering why no one can see it or hear it, or why things has just changed suddenly, because it's still in that awareness. It still thinks that it's still in its body, and it's still operating from that awareness that it thinks that it's still alive. There are some souls who at some point get to realize that, oh, it looks like I'm dead, I've passed away. What happened? How did it happen? I wasn't expecting to pass away, so suddenly I have kids. I had a work to go to. I had a mother that depended on me, or a father that needed my help. And then they feel they have these attachments to that lifetime that they hold on to, that sort of prevents them from successfully crossing over into the afterlife or into the heavenly realms where the soul belongs to. So attachments too can also make cause certain souls to be earthbound. And other types of attachments are maybe people that maybe they lived a good life and they passed away and they were so attached to their earthly accumulations. Say they had a house that they loved so much, or just for as an example, or they had some sort of property, or whatever the case might be, they had a strong attachment to that earthly possession, that when they eventually pass away, it's hard for them to let go of that possession, and they just stand by watching it, still holding on to that possession, thinking that it's still theirs. Um, and this is where we get to hear of stories about haunted houses, which in some case, some souls that maybe may have grown up in that house and grew fond to that house or had fond memories, that when they pass on, they just cannot let go of their attachment that they had to that house. And maybe some have passed away in that house and they still think that they're still alive, or and then they're just hanging around, and it's just, which is what we call a haunted house. And these are just some examples of why a soul might be earthbound. Now, there are some souls that unfortunately suffer from addictions while they were alive. Maybe they were addicted. For example, I'm not trying to judge anybody. This is not to judge or throw shades at anybody. I'm just giving examples here. Say there are some souls that had a strong addiction to, say, drinking or smoking, for example, that to the point that the addiction was so strong that it penetrated into their soul, and now their soul, now the body passes on, they pass away, but the soul still craves those physical desires, those addictions that the body craved. But now the soul no longer has a human body to satisfy those earthly cravings. And so what does he do? Yeah, the cravings become an attachment and an impediment to that soul to successfully crossing over, because the soul still craves to, it still craves for those addictions that it had while it was still in the physical body, and it's not supposed to be so, because after we pass away, the soul is meant to cross over into the afterlife. But if a soul still has those addictions, it might stay stuck here on the earth plane, and it might find itself seeking ways to satisfy those cravings, and which in some cases they might seek out other human beings still living that have similar addictions like that they do, and seek to attach to them somehow, so they can sort of get that desire when that human body goes, when that human person still living goes to satisfy those cravings, with the soul, with the disconnected soul attached to the aura of that human body, it sort of gets this sense of satisfying those cravings by doing that attachment to that human body. And a lot more goes into that. I can share that more later in another video. And this is just one example of why a soul might be earthbound. There are some souls that pass away, and maybe due to like having very strong beliefs or belief system, so they might expect after death, for example, for those that come from a very fundamentalist Christian background. And once again, this is not to throw shade at anybody, but say someone has a very strong fundamentalist background and they believe that they must do certain things in order to get to heaven, and they pass away and they realize that they passed away. Now they're thinking, oh, I did not do this and do that. I did not whatever the case might be, and then they're holding themselves back because they think that because they failed to do that while they were living, now they no longer qualify to transition into the afterlife, but not knowing, not maybe because of that temporary amnesia, they've forgotten that home is always for them. Home is always where they've been, and it's where they're supposed to return to. And that veil is often not lifted until the soul crosses through the tunnel and goes back into the afterlife, and then the memories come back again, and it's all the fog is lifted. Uh, there are some people that expect nothingness or darkness. They expect that life, there's no life after death. That once you pass on, they expect nothingness. And if you hold to such a strong belief system and you pass on with that strong belief system, then initially that's you might see that your initial experience once you pass on might be a reflection of your innermost belief system. So it's very, very imperative that you do not hold very, very rigid, strong belief systems because you might just get that once you pass on. And for a while, you might think that that is reality to you or that's real, but it might actually hold you back from successfully crossing over to the afterlife. So it's very important that we as human bodies, we as humans here on earth, recognize that we're not just human beings, just who happen to be wandering through life by happenstance. We are actually souls here on earth at this time having a human experience. We willingly chose to come here on earth to have this human experience for a period of life, say 60, 70, 80 years or whatever, however long you chose to be here for. And once it's completed, you're supposed to head back into the afterlife where we all come from. Um, Hopefully, this video has shed some light on this topic. And oh, before I forget, there's a in the lower realms, it's described as being the void. So it's void of light. It's void of anything. It's just darkness. The afterlife, the heavenly realms where we all come from, is full of God's love and God's light. His love and light permeates everywhere, and there are different realms to in the afterlife as well. Now in the lower realms, it's void and dark, void of light, void of love. It's just cold and dark. Now in the afterlife, there's a saying that you attract what you are. So if you lived your life being very cold and mean and unkind and just mean spirited, not to judge anybody, if these qualities made up the majority of your lifetime, then what typically happens is when you pass on, automatically you are drawn to the void because the environment is a reflection of your innermost self. Now, while you are living in the human body, the body is very good at concealing the soul and its innermost thinking and thoughts. But at the moment of death, everything is exposed. The soul in its true form is exposed. So if you are cold, mean spirited, and unkind, and bitter and things like that. I'm not trying to judge anybody, but if these qualities were the majority of the qualities during your lifetime, then don't be surprised that once you pass away, you get drawn to an environment that reflects your innermost self, and it might not be a great experience to have. Some people call it some sort of a timeout where the soul gets to experience that, so it gets to reflect and see, oh, okay, I'm only here because this is what I cultivated for myself while I had that body. The body was a chance for me to cultivate love, kindness, peace, charity, positivity, understanding, patience. But I chose these qualities for the most part of my life, and now I've passed away, and I'm here now because this environment reflects, it's a reflection of my innermost self. So it's very important, very imperative that as we're living our life here on earth, to always remember that love is the greatest commandment. It's the greatest force in the universe. God is full of love. He's unconditional love, and we souls here, we're meant to learn and cultivate and be an embodiment of unconditional love. And love, it's an all-encompassing word that covers faith, hope, charity, kindness, patience, understanding, things like that. So if you're able to cultivate love for the most part while you were here, then when it's automatic that once you pass on into the afterlife, automatically you're drawn to an environment, being the higher realms, that reflects your innermost essence, your innermost self that you've cultivated. So hopefully, I didn't want to make this video to be too long. Hopefully, this video explains this topic to an extent, and I'll be making more videos on this topic sometime in the future. If you have any questions about this topic, or if you have any thoughts, I would like to hear them. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Once again, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you and have a good day. Thank you and have a wonderful day.